One Piece is a manga that started in 1997 and had recently had a live-action adaptation by Netflix. So go read or watch it first as potential spoilers away. So, let's go over the essentials. All characters are Japanese, so they're called by their family names first, then middle initials and lastly their given name. Quick plug, share and subscribe. The story takes place in a world 800 years after a great disaster on a world that's 90% water. A giant strip of land runs from the north to the south, bisecting the planet. This landmass is known as the Red Line. 7 seas exist with 4 being named after the cardinal directions. Running along the equator are the 2 calm belts and the Grand Line. Where the cardinal seas meet the Grand Line are the calm belts, their currents cancelling each other out and creating dead zones. These calm belts are filled with gigantic beasts known as sea kings. Now let's talk about that great disaster. Not much is known exactly, but it was devastating. This period, known as the Void Century due to the absence of information, saw 20 monarchs join forces and create the world government. Only 19 of the founding families would move to the Red Line, with the Nefeltari family choosing to remain in their homeland. The late Queen Nefeltari Lili sought to record the Void Century and had the Kozuki clan of Wano create the poneglyphs, indestructible stones inscribed with a coded language, before scattering them across the world. The government wanted to erase all traces of the Void Century and had the research on the poneglyphs labeled as a capital punishment. Now let's talk about the groups of interest. The world government is policed by the World Navy and their Marines. 5 main sections of the Navy exists: Ensign to Commodore, Rear Admirals, Vice Admirals, Admirals, and Fleet Admirals. The Vice Admirals and below typically patrol while the Admirals, limited to 3, and Fleet Admiral, limited to 1, serve the government directly, or the 19 families' descendants known as Celestial Dragons or World Nobles. The world government and the Navy serves the Celestial Dragons first, then the about 170 vassal kingdoms. Each kingdom pays a heavy tax to receive protection. Pay is used loosely here as failure to do so can lead to harsh reprisals. Meanwhile, the world nobles violate any law that they want. Slavery is illegal, but the world nobles frequently gets the world government to capture or find their slaves. Some important Marines are Vice Admiral Monkey D. Garp, and Admiral Akai and Yusukazuki. Next is the Revolutionary Army. They formed 20 years before the series started due to the extermination of the Scholars Island of Ohara. This happened because the scholars were researching the Void Century and the Navy declared a buster call. This was ordered in the golden variant of a communication device known as a Dindinmushi, telepathic snails, that transmit signals between each other. A buster call is equal to a kingdom's might coming down on one place. Complete devastation is an understatement. The Ohara incident saw the torching of the entire island and its population. The revolutionaries seek to overthrow the world government and the Celestial Dragons especially. The group formed in the wake of the Ohara incident, 3 years before Luffy's birth. They are the only unified group that directly opposes the government. Notable revolutionaries are the Supreme Commander, the worst criminal Monkey D. Dragon, and Revolutionary Commander, Emporio Ivankov. Last are the pirates. 2 unofficial groups of pirates exist, adventurers and marauders. Adventurers sail to explore while marauders sail to steal and rob. The most important pirate was Goldie Roger and the Roger Pirates. Roger wasn't the first adventurer pirates, but he was the most important as his crew was the first to circumnavigate the planet. Roger was best known for his tremendous strength and love for his crew, refusing to run from a fight to protect them. Completing his journey, he placed his treasures, referred to as the One Piece, on an island known as Laugh Tale, an island unseen since the legendary Joy Boy 800 years ago. This island can only be accessed by finding and reading 4 road poneglyphs, items which are held by the Yonkou, the 4 kings of the seas. Roger returned to his hometown and allowed himself to be executed. His final words sparked with a great fire terror. "You want my treasure? You can have it. I left everything I gathered together in one place. Now you just have to find it." With that, we move to devil fruits and hockey. Devil fruits drain the user's ability to swim for magical powers. No two devil fruits are identical, and most people can only eat one devil fruit without perishing. The devil fruits, which are only limited by the user's creativity, follow a simple cycle. The fruit appears, the fruit is eaten, the fruit is used, the fruit user dies, and lastly the fruit reappears. First are the Paramecia fruit. Luffy ate what was called the gum fruit, making him a rubber man. Paramecia allows for control of an area, like separating their body, or sprouting hands. Next are Logia fruits. They transform their bodies into elements. The marine smoker ate the plume fruit, transforming him into a smoke man. Many similar power fruits exist, putting them on tiers. The Paramecia heat fruit is naturally weaker than the Logia fire fruit, which is weaker than the magma fruit, which is only trumped by the zone bird fruit model Phoenix's flames. So unless a fire user is stronger than the magma user, they'll naturally lose. Speaking of zones, they are fruits which transforms the user into an animal, divided into regular, ancient, mythical or artificial. Different subsets of zone fruit can exist, like an ox fruit, model bison or an ox fruit, model giraffe. Dalton ate the ox fruit, model bison, and allowed him to completely or partially transform into a bison. Devil fruits are only limited by imagination, sea water and sea stones. Now to hockey. The rarest is the color of Supreme King hockey. This uses hockey to intimidate people, with only the strongest willed being able to not pass out. This is a manifestation of the will to dominate. 1 in 1 million chance. Next is color of observation hockey, which gives limited precognition of attacks, as well as an understanding of someone's emotions, strengths and locations. This is a manifestation of the will to understand. Last is color of arms hockey, which covers the skin in a thin layer of strong armor. Aside from sea water and sea stones, this hockey is the only way to touch Logia users. This is a manifestation of the will to protect or defend. This is the key information for the series. Next time I'll cover Luffy's backstory. I highly recommend reading or watching the series before. There's going to be spoilers heading forward. Consider checking out my Patreon, as this will take time to do. Thanks for watching, and comment other manga you want me to summarize. Now, on to Monkey D. Luffy.